Now, please welcome to the stage Mubarak Nazir for the Islamic perspective. Mubarak. Thank you.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما الحياة الدنيا إلا لعب ولهو وللدار الآخرة خير للذين يتقون أفلا تعقلون اقترب للناس حسابهم وهم في غفلة معرضون. Ladies and gentlemen, after the preliminary verses, I have recited 2 verses from the Holy Quran taken from different parts. In the first verse, God the Almighty says, "This worldly life is nothing but a pastime, a sport. And the abode of the hereafter, that is better. For those who are righteous and for those who understand that the hereafter is much, much better than this present life, which is nothing but a pastime. People on the day of judgment would consider that we lived in this world for only a day or a part of a day. This life is so transitory, is so short, sometimes looks so irrelevant. This is a preparation, as the Holy Quran says, for the next world. It's the next world. We just did not come into this world for nothing. We have to give account for that. There is a day of accountability. We believe in a living God, in a compassionate God. It's not an academic God. It's a God who really lives, who talks. I am not satisfied that he spoke with Abraham and he spoke with Jesus and Moses and Solomon and David and Lut or even the Prophet Muhammad. I am concerned how he responds to my difficulties, He speaks today also, not only yesterday, not only day before yesterday. Even today he speaks. Faith is on the brink of extinction. Maybe a CPR is needed. Maybe a mouth to mouth. Or maybe the oxygen mask. Past prophets, all prophets, warned the world about this period of time, this history, when materialism and greed and for the people to grab and only consider this life as the final life. He said that will be a time when faith will disintegrate, would become irrelevant, would become a taboo word. You talk about faith and people say, come on, old-fashioned man. But you have heard the commonalities today. the commonalities. We have a journalist who is our moderator, and the journalists are looking after differences. They're not looking after similarities. Similarities are not newsworthy. If there had been the ample differences, and we had announced that we would go to each other's jugular, you might have this hall filled up to capacity, and even if we had put $20, $30 fees, even still it would have been filled up. Similarities and peaceful things are not newsworthy. I remember reading one book of a saint who said he once came from outside and he had been bitten by a dog, and he was bleeding, and his granddaughter, young as she was, she said, "Grandpa, what happened?" He said, "I was bitten by a dog." And the girl in her infancy said, "Well, but Dad, why did you not beat the dog? Why did you not do that?" So in the Urdu language, the dad said, मुझसे ये कुत्तपन नहीं होता. I cannot behave like a dog. If a dog has bitten me, but that's newsworthy. If somebody bites a dog on University Avenue, it would be a big news. Everybody would look at it. But if dogs bite 20 people, I don't think that would be a big news. Religion, faith, belief has become an endangered species. But in the Holy Quran, faith and belief have been mentioned countless times, hundreds of times. To be precise, more than 400 times. Faith. This morning I was talking about faith. The Holy Prophet said that even the love of your country is part of your faith. In another tradition, he said cleanliness is part of your faith. Not only the body cleanliness, not only the clothes, not only the lanes, not only the valleys, not only the country, but our thoughts should be clean. It is these corrupted thoughts which bring about terrorists, bring about things. And when we talk about faith, which faith? True faith. It must be qualified. Look, those terrorist bombers who were indoctrinated in madrasas also have a faith. They believe that killing and maiming innocent people, even while they are prostrating in the mosques, is a virtue which is liked by God. That is what their faith preaches. So when we talk of faith, it must be true faith. And faith without a realization that we can have a relationship with our Creator. You and I can have a relationship with God the Almighty. I love Islam because Islam teaches that it is absolutely possible that you can have a relationship with God. If without relationship, this world is hollow. The founder of the Ahmadiyya community has said in one of his Urdu poems, क्या जिंदगी का ज़ौक़ अगर वो नहीं मिला, लानत है ऐसे जीने पे अगर उससे है जुदा. What is the pleasure of living a life when you even did not meet your Creator in this world? Woe be to that life when you are separated from your Creator. Look, the Holy Quran says if you are blind to this happiness of meeting your Creator in this world, then you will also be unhappy in the next world. That is what the Holy Quran says. If you are blind in this world, spiritually blind in this world, you will also be blind in the hereafter. So there is, for the resuscitation of faith, for the preservation of faith, our relationship with our Creator, God the Almighty. He's a compassionate God. He's a forgiving God. He's a loving God. The Holy Prophet said, if you walk one step towards Him, He walks 10 steps towards you. You walk towards Him, He runs towards you. And He said, if you have a loving relationship with God the Almighty, then God becomes your hands. God becomes your eyes. He becomes your ears. He becomes your tongue. He becomes your feet. Wherever such a person is, who is a godly person, those walls are blessed. That house becomes blessed. That country becomes blessed. That universe becomes blessed. It is this problem that we have, that we do not believe in God the Almighty. Some people ridicule. Any prophet who comes, they ridicule. Ya hasratan ala libat, ma yatihim min rasulin illa kanu bihi yastahzi'un. Oh my creation, have I ever sent a prophet that you did not mock at him? You did not laugh at him? The prophets come to guide us. I am a Muslim. I have to believe in all the prophets. Kullu namana billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi. I believe in all the prophets. Look, there are 143,000 prophets. 124,000 prophets. They have come to the Red Indians, they have come to the Middle East, to the Far East, to the Africans. We believe in all of them. We believe in all books. Look at the teaching of the Holy Quran. I'm not speaking outside the teaching of the Holy Quran. Look what the Holy Quran says about the Injil, about the Old Testament, and about the New Testament. Did God not say in the Holy Quran about the Injil and the New Testament and the Old Testament, Fiye Hudam wa Noor? It contains light. It contains guidance. Look, you pick and choose. I want to buy a shirt. I do a lot of shopping. I look a lot of research. The other day I wanted to buy a laptop. I spent a long time looking here with the condition. What is the warranty on that? What is the compatibility on that? How it is user-friendly? Just to buy a laptop. I want to buy shoes. You do a lot of shopping. Even you go on the internet to buy little things. Would you not do some shopping? To preserve your faith, the most important commodity, the thing that will take you to the hereafter. This is your salvation. This is our redemption. This is our forgiveness. This is the most important thing. That's why we brought in how many faiths? Countless. We brought only 7, 8 people we could gather. And we're going to get emails, why did you not invite us? Why did you invite that? And, why did you not invite Jehovah's Witnesses or the Catholics or the Methodists or the Protestants or the Sunnis or the Shias or the Wahhabis or the countless sects? Where do we go? Shop around. That is why we Muslims always pray, Ehdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, oh Allah, guide us to the right people, to the right path, to the right faith. He knows what is better for us. So you and I should pray. And I am saying this, look, today you are all filled up in this hall. Tomorrow you will not be here. I will not be here. We will all be in the graveyard. The pallbearers will come and claim us tomorrow, if not today. What preparation? How have you preserved your faith? Are you just going to laugh at the prophets? Are you going to make jest of the books of Allah? Books that were revealed to Moses or David, or the Psalms of David, or the Injil, or the Zabur, or the Quran. Have a look. Pick up the jewels as you can and preserve your faith. And what is faith? Love your neighbor. Love your country. You don't love your neighbor. You don't love the poor people who are dying of hunger. I have lived a long life in Africa. 29 years of my life spent in Africa, in the jungles of Africa, in the deserts of Africa. You do not know what poverty is. You do not know what hunger is. You do not know what disease is. There was a gentleman who came just before me and he said people were dying of malaria and the Queen Elizabeth and Queen Mary didn't have this. And they're still living in that period now in this age. I have seen them begging and looking for crumbs from bins. That is why on the day of judgment the Holy Prophet said, God will ask some people that, oh my people, I was hungry and you never fed me. I was thirsty and you never gave me water. I was without clothes and you never clothed me. I was without shelter. I was sick and you never came to ask. And the people will say, oh God, when were you thirsty? As I am now. When were you hungry? When were you thirsty? When were you without shelter? And God the Almighty will say, that man was hungry. That man was thirsty. That woman didn't have clothes. If you had gone there, you would have met me over there. You would have met me over there. You know, if your faith does not have any change in your personality, in your dealing with your country, dealing with your friends, dealing with your neighbors, dealing with your children, your spouse, with your business, if it has no reflection, then that faith is useless. Faithless. Just an ideology. Just academic. Faith should change your personality, should change your views of life, should become a better husband. And that is, I'm not talking out of the religion of Islam. Simahum fi wujuhihim min asar as-sujud. Your prostration should have a reflection on your forehead, on your personality. If your faith is just, you have a lot of books and a lot of things with you. You can put books on a jackass. He doesn't become educated. Still, he carries a lot of books. And is it faith? Is it these speeches? Is it only speeches? Why don't you allow your mind? That is what the Holy Quran says. And at the beginning of this function, those were the verses that were recited. Ponder over the creation of the world. Why don't you ponder? Why don't you consider deeply? And if you consider deeply, allow your intellect to wander about. Give it a swing. And you will see that you will believe that there is a God. There is a day of judgment. There is a day of resurrection. There is a day when we have to face our Creator. May the Lord richly bless you. I can see the light, you can't see it.
Thank you, Mr. Nazir.